Title: Cecilia's Ramp, Sizer Castle. An aerial view of the imposing medieval stone castle with its expansive green grounds dotted with mature trees. Sean Fletcher, Visitor, Operations and Experiences Manager, Sizer National Trust, a bearded white man in National Trust fleece and jeans, seated in a panelled hallway in the castle.
We've been working for quite some years now on how we can sort of develop as a place for people and make it more inclusive and accessible and equitable. It's not just an issue today, it's something that's been an issue throughout time. And we're quite lucky that we've got a character that talked openly about her disability and actually did something about it as well.
An oil painting of an elegant aristocratic lady with pale skin and dark hair worn up. She wears a robe of pink satin edged with gold over a wrap-around low-cut dress of white silk. She looks out at us with deep blue eyes, the hint of a smile on her lips. She's painted outside against a tree and the sky. Dr. Leanne Higgins, a white woman with long, straight, light brown hair, wearing a pink blouse, sits in a room with light walls hung with a large abstract painting. She is with Dr. Killian O'Leary, a white man with brown hair and beard, wearing green checked shirt, both from Lancaster University Management School.
Cecilia Strickland was a pioneer in terms of accessibility. She realised she couldn't access her home, so she figured out a way to access her home and make it work for her, that she could still enjoy her beautiful garden and still enjoy her family home and be part of the family.
An overhead view of the castle in its grounds. Sarah Murray, Training, Research and Consultancy Manager, Beyond Bendrig, a short-haired blonde woman. She wears a Beyond Bendrig green polo shirt and grey trousers.
This shows that this isn't a new problem for disabled people, that access and feeling included has been something that has been around for a very long time.
Georgina Gates, House and Collections Manager, Sizer National Trust, wearing a National Trust cardigan, dark top and jeans. She has blue eyes and blonde hair.
I think the whole idea of Cecilia as a sort of really key character for Sizer started for me back in 2018 when we kind of uncovered and did a lot of research into her correspondence and the letters that she was writing and receiving.
A close-up of a letter in fine handwriting, some words crossed out. For example, the word prejudice, originally spelt wrongly and then corrected. The film cuts between Georgina and the handwritten letters.
I felt like I really got to know Cecilia as a person. You know, it's in her words, and it was an amazing reflection of life at Sizer at that time, and a lot of her struggles. From there, we learnt more about the ramp outside and what that meant to her as well, to be able to enjoy Sizer and the gardens. And it really comes across in her letters how delighted she was. It was a massive thing that she could now explore the gardens and have this entire floor of the house accessible to her, linking all of the areas.
Views of the outside of the castle and the area where the ramp was initially, next to some flower beds and a brick wall. An old set of stone steps leads up into the main part of the castle building. Sean.
After Cecilia passed away, it's kind of naturally moved into a flower bed and it's kind of been lost in time.
Sarah.
So here at Sizer, obviously a historic house, and access is always difficult in properties like this.
Millie MacArthur Greenall, Inclusion and Belonging Coordinator, National Trust North, a white woman with brown hair and glasses, wearing a stripy top under a cardigan with patches of pale orange and white.
Currently, those with any mobility disabilities or challenges Anyone that might struggle with stairs can only access a small proportion of this house.
One of the hardest things is to see when a family has to be separated because maybe somebody isn't able to get up those steps. If we can put something in place that actually enables them to be able to enjoy it, then we should be doing that.
Reinstating this ramp is going to enable so many more disabled people to access the first floor of this amazing place.
We draw back from a glazed door in a narrow hallway. A dark wood stand to the left with barley twist legs. Sean.
Now it's actually an opportunity to tie those historical narratives and bring them back into something that's really relevant today. To be able to get to this point, we're very thankful that we had a legacy donation from John Gordon Cooper. The money that they left us meant that we were able to get all the architectural drawings, all the designs, all the plans done. It's quite a large infrastructure project to enable full access to the gardens, but also quite significantly to the first floor of a Grade 1 listed building.
A close-up of the plans of the accessible route. Emma Moody, Lake District National Park Authority, a white woman with greying brown hair wearing a grey Lake District National Park fleece, is seated in the panelled hall.
Developing accessibility and accessible routes within a protected landscape like the Lake District does have its challenges. We want to make sure that whatever we do is in keeping with the landscape and with the heritage of the area. Obviously, we've got a lot of history. It's a World Heritage Site as well as being a national park. So it's really important that we're sensitive to that, yet at the same time ensuring that everyone has that inclusive access.
Close-ups of the architect's drawings, showing the route leading to the castle. Sarah Murray.
So this is quite a unique project. What the team here are trying to do is huge, but really, really important.
Georgina.
Having the ramp opens up the entire middle floor of this house. So we're talking about the upper hall.
A tall ceilinged pink painted hall filled with bookshelves, paintings and ceramics.
Dining room.
A panelled room with a large fireplace and long table, paintings and a chandelier.
Queen's room. The drawing room.
Pink upholstered furniture and many paintings.
That opens up 9 rooms that otherwise would be completely inaccessible.
An elaborate and detailed wooden carving above a fireplace in one of the rooms, with a geometric ceiling. Emma Moody from the National Parks.
It is so worthwhile because it benefits so many people, not just disabled people, but their families and the wider community.
Dr. Cillian O'Leary, Lancaster University Management School.
CISR is an organisation that is really pushing the boundaries of accessibility and really trying to be accessible in every way. They've had a master's group do research reports for them this summer, so they're continually working on their accessibility practice, and they really are setting the standard, I would say, across the Northwest for good accessible practice.
Dr. Leanne Higgins.
I think it's wonderful that the National Trusts are uncovering and unsilencing this forgotten history in some ways of Cecilia Strickland, and in doing so they're representing and raising awareness of disabled people, not just today but throughout history.
The outside of the castle. Sean.
To continue the project, the next phase is funding it. The total project cost will be approximately about £500,000, and for us to be able to do this kind of project, we do rely on various different funders. We only tend to get sort of 50% of that funding, and so the next 50% that we would need to kind of raise ourselves. Our next phase will be looking for where that support might come from, and that can be anybody.
Millie MacArthur Greenall. Views of the outside of the building and visitors approaching the old stone steps.
You can donate towards getting the ramp reinstated, and by contributing and by helping us to resource this project, you could really be improving the lives of so many different people and their families and their friends.
The oil painting of Cecilia. Sarah Murray.
For some disabled people, their world is really small. And actually what we're trying to do here is really open out spaces and really make places like this accessible for everyone.
The castle in its grounds. A QR code which you can scan to donate or go to https://bit.ly/4/4ADJ0V. The National Trust logo, an oak tree in white against a dark background.